Long ago, the world had become a dark place. People had turned away from goodness, and the earth was filled with violence and corruption. But among the chaos, there was one man who remained faithful: Noah. He walked with God when few even remembered his name. And because of Noah's righteousness, God chose him for a task that would change the world forever. God warned Noah that he would send a flood to cleanse the earth of its wickedness. But this would not be the end, it would be a new beginning. He instructed Noah to build an enormous ark, big enough to save not only his family, but two of every living creature. Noah obeyed without question, despite the mockery from others who couldn't see the storm ahead. For 120 years, he built the ark with determination and unwavering faith. Then the rains came. The heavens opened and the waters burst from the earth. Torrents drowned everything in their path. For 40 days and 40 nights, the world was submerged. The ark rose and floated over what was once mountains and cities. Inside Noah, his family, and the animals were safe, protected by the promise of God. After months adrift, the waters receded. The ark came to rest on the mountains of Ararat. Noah waited patiently until the earth was dry. When the time came, he stepped out onto a world washed clean, reborn through judgment. His first act was not to claim the land or build a home, but to worship. He built an altar and offered sacrifices of gratitude to the God who had saved them. It was then that God made a promise not just to Noah, but to all of humanity. A covenant, eternal and unbreakable. Never again would he destroy the earth with a flood. Never again would every living thing be wiped out in that way. And to seal that promise, God painted a sign in the sky, a radiant rainbow stretching from one end of the horizon to the other. Whenever the rainbow appears in the clouds, God said, "I will see it, and remember the everlasting covenant between me and all living creatures of every kind on the earth." This was not just a display of beauty, it was a symbol of divine mercy. A rainbow that arcs through storms to remind us of grace after judgment. The covenant with Noah marked the beginning of a pattern we would see throughout the Bible. God makes promises, not because humans are perfect, but because he is faithful. As Noah and his family spread across the earth, they would tell their children and grandchildren about the flood, the ark, and the rainbow. Every time clouds rolled in and rain fell from the sky, they would look upward and wait for that flash of color, knowing that God had not forgotten them. But the covenant wasn't only about a natural disaster. It was about restoration. God didn't simply hit reset on the world. He offered a future with hope. Through Noah, humanity was given another chance. And through the rainbow, we are reminded that even when we fall, God's grace can lift us again. This story still resonates today. Every time a storm passes and a rainbow appears, it's more than just sunlight through rain, it's a message. A reminder that we are never too far gone, that God's promises endure and his love never fails. Even now, in a world that often feels broken, that covenant is still in place. God's word never fades, and his mercy is greater than any flood we face. Whether the storm is on the outside or raging in our hearts, he offers peace. And he still paints promises across the sky. The story of God's covenant with Noah teaches us about faith, obedience, and divine mercy. Noah trusted God even when others mocked him, and that trust led to salvation not just for him, but for future generations. The rainbow symbolizes that God is not just a judge, but a redeemer. Even after the storms of life, his promises remain. It encourages us to look up, trust in him, and live in a way that reflects our gratitude for second chances.